Alright guys, we are back in my car for another video, and today we are going to be talking about custom transmission tuning. And I know I presented this idea to you guys a couple months ago from a really high level point of view, just kind of presenting information I was able to find. But today I am definitely telling you that I am a believer. I get it now. I understand why a custom transmission tune is worth it. And the reason why I know now is because I've had a custom transmission tune on my 340i for the past couple weeks. And the process was super simple. It really was an eye-opening experience to get the transmission tune, see how much better the car performed, how much more intelligent it was. The car can just predict what I want it to do without having to press any buttons or set modes and things like that. So overall, I think it's just the best option to get if you want to know that the transmission will perform how you want it to, when you want it to, without any drama. So in this video, I'm going to share my experience with getting a custom transmission tune and hopefully answer any questions that you guys might have in case you're considering going this route, and hopefully you find this video useful. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. So the first thing that I want to do is give a shout out to my transmission tuner. I went with Sutphin. A lot of you guys might know of him if you had an E-Series BMW. He's been tuning the 6-speed cars for a very long time, but now he decided to expand his options into the 8-speed world. So he recently got a B58 car with the ZF8 transmission, did some custom tuning on it to see how the different features worked and come up with an idea of what he felt like would work best. And now he is offering the service to us as well. So I want to give a huge shout out to him because he has been awesome to work with. If you guys search, you'll find nothing but positive reviews about his services, and I'll have a link down in the description if you guys are interested in seeing what he can offer for you. But let's start off with talking about how the transmission tuning process works. And it's really simple compared to engine tuning. So if you guys have a custom engine tune, just know that this is way easier. It's a cakewalk. So basically what you're going to do is make sure you have XHP and just get the flasher license. That's how you're actually going to flash the tune to your transmission so that you can take advantage of the new features that Rod's going to enable. Now when he sends you a map, you're going to flash it to your car by going to the regular flash menu. But if you already have the map pack, don't pick one of the off-the-shelf maps. You're basically going to pick that little icon in the corner. It's like a paper or a folder, and that will allow you to upload the custom map that he's going to send you. So you download the tune to your phone and then you flash it through the app in order to get it on your car. Now once you get the tune, you don't actually need to do any logging or anything special. You really just need to drive your car. Do your normal commute, push it if you do some highway pulls, do whatever you normally do, switch between all the modes, and just see how it performs overall. If there's anything weird that you don't like or something that you want to change, reach out to Rod, send him an email, and he'll be able to update your map to address that issue. And it's really as simple as that. Your subjective feedback is all he needs in order to dial the tune in for your specific car. When you're starting off, you of course want to tell him your setup and kind of your goals for how you drive the car and what you want it to do, and that'll define the base map or off-the-shelf map that he'll provide you with, and then from there he can make minor tweaks to make it shift how you want, perform how you want, or drive exactly how you need it to. Now of course, because it's a custom tune, this is going to be tailored to the individual, so I'll tell you guys about some of the things that I took advantage of and things that I appreciate in the tune. But again, you don't have to have your car do this. If you wanted to drive more aggressively, less aggressively, or anything in between, you can get it dialed in for your setup. So this is just kind of to give you an idea of some of the options that are available to you. Now the biggest improvement from the custom transmission tune is kind of like what I said before. It's just way more intelligent and knows exactly what you want it to do when you want it to do it. So when I'm driving partial throttle, like right now I'm driving through a neighborhood and the car is going to shift slow, it'll shift soft, I'm in drive mode and comfort, and everything's just smooth, normal commuter shifting. But the moment that I floor it, the car immediately goes into fast, sharp shifts, and it gives you the performance that you're looking for. And it's just really nice to have the best of both worlds. Obviously with the ZF8, that's the whole point of the transmission. You want something that drives around like a torque converter automatic, but at full speed it shifts closer to like a DCT. And this definitely gives you both of those options in the exact same car. You don't have to change much of anything other than getting the tune in order to take advantage of those features. So yeah, just having everything kind of more dependent on your driver inputs and how you're driving your car, compared to having to switch to sport mode, sport plus, and getting your shifts and everything dialed in, has just been really nice. He also dials in the actual shift maps as well, and the shift points are just much better suited for anybody that I feel like really enjoys driving. If you're in comfort mode, normally it's going to just try to shift as much as possible and get you to 8th gear so that you can get your gas mileage in. And sometimes it's really hard to get the car to respond the way you want it to. If you're trying to, you know, jump out into traffic to make a turn or do anything, it just seems like it's a little more lazy on the stock tune. But with this custom tune, the shift points are naturally a little bit higher, so it keeps you closer to the power band when you're driving around. So if you need to accelerate, torque is right there. He'll also dial in your shift maps based on your setup. So like in my case, I have a stock turbo car, and he sets up the shift points when I'm wide open throttle to be earlier than a big turbo car, because running out to redline really doesn't make a lot of sense in these cars. You usually get the best performance shifting between 6 to 6,500 RPM, and he set that up automatically. So unless you're in manual mode and, you know, manually letting it run out to redline, it'll automatically shift in your power band and give you the best performance possible. Now, another performance aspect that I can't ignore is everybody wants to compare a custom transmission tune to drag mode, and the two cannot be compared for one simple reason. Drag mode disables all your safeties, so it doesn't really matter how well it performs if it's going to put that kind of risk on your transmission. Personally, I wouldn't disable things like my NOx sensors or my O2 sensor, or different things that adjust timing and fueling to keep my car healthy when conditions vary. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, and there are just a lot of different conditions that play an effect on how your car responds to what you're doing. So you need those sensors and things to keep everything together and keep it safe. And the custom transmission tune will do exactly that. It can push your car as far as possible, as fast as possible, while maintaining those safeties. So now you're not putting your transmission at risk just in order to take, you know, 0.1 seconds off your 60 to 130. So of course, I'm a huge fan of that strategy. I want my transmission to last as long as possible, and Rod makes it a point to make sure that we get as much performance as we can without sacrificing the reliability of our car. Now, obviously, all of these features are kind of baked into your transmission tune. There are a lot of different things that you can change if you want. You know, he might give you first gear takeoff, and if you want second gear takeoff, you can adjust that in your tune yourself. But you don't want to adjust everything. You don't want to turn on line pressure bump. He'll already have everything scaled properly for the torque that's going to your transmission. You don't want to adjust the shift maps, because again, that's something that he has taken the time to dial in so that it is perfect for your setup. And if there's just really anything that you want to adjust, I highly recommend reaching out to Rod, and he'll be able to adjust it and make sure that everything is smoothly integrated with the rest of the transmission tune, because it's just really easy to get lost when you're adjusting sliders and things, and then you can't get back to the normal where you started with. So yeah, just try not to mess with too many of those custom settings when you're flashing your tune. Now, another thing that I want to add is he can tune several different transmissions. If you have an upgraded pure transmission, he can do a custom tune for you. If you have an HP70, he can do a custom tune as well. He's actually experienced the biggest improvement on the HP70s, because those are kind of the older ZF technology. And so when he tunes those, he basically sees the biggest bump in performance, even compared to our HP50s and the P58s. So if you have an HP70, that's even more motivation to go and get a custom tune, so you can really unlock the performance that's capable in that transmission. And one last thing I want to remind you guys is, just like everything else, it all has to be healthy. It all has to work together. If you have a problem in one area, it's not going to make any improvements by only adjusting another area. So for example, if you have a messed up engine tune, The transmission tune isn't going to fix it, and if anything, it can make it worse. So if you're experiencing weird drivability problems, you really need to make sure that your car is healthy and up to the task before you start custom tuning your transmission. Also, he does recommend upgraded transmission fluid. I know I just did a transmission service on my car with OEM fluid, but we'll be trying that one out in the future. He does recommend using adrenaline, and that will just allow the car to run a little bit cooler, a little more consistently, so that you can get the best performance possible. And with these, you know, high RPM fast shifts, it'll minimize the wear and things like that. And also, G series custom tuning is in development, so a lot of it, of course, we're waiting for XHP to enable the capability for the cars, but he will be able to custom tune those soon. So just keep an eye out for any announcements. Follow all his social media channels. He'll be posting updates from there so that you guys can have the latest and greatest information. But yeah, again, huge shout out to him. Thank you for custom tuning my car and showing me the light, helping me understand what kind of capability I can expect when the transmission has been dialed into my specific preference. And I highly recommend you guys check him out if you're interested in doing the same. So for now, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. I've learned a whole lot about how the car works. I've learned a lot about how the transmission tuning